Welcome to PVTV International. I'm going to present this week's editions of our news roundup. Cabinet news. Acting President Duwa remarks on 3rd anniversary of revolution. On September 7, during a public speech making the 3rd anniversary of Myanmar Revolutionary War, Acting President Duwa of the National Unity Government stated that the revolution has grown more strategic, leading to significant public victories. He emphasized that the continuous weight of resistance are gradually eroding the mechanisms of the military dictatorship, and the further victories are on the horizon. The acting president honored the sacrifices of the heroes and martyrs who gave their lives and body for the country during the struggle. He acknowledged the progress made by various ethnic revolutionary forces, noting that they have not only established liberated area but also built extensive military alliances across the country's border. He further condemned the terrorist military council for frequently using military equipment to carry out aerial bombardment on civilian targets. NUG holds EOCC meeting to address flood disaster response due to Typhoon Yagi. On September 14, 2024, the National Unity Government convened a meeting of Emergency Operation Collaboration Committee (EOCC) to address the ongoing flood disaster caused by Typhoon Yagi. The committee discussed various plans and measures to respond to the crisis, focusing on mitigating the impact of water hazard and coordinating efforts among relevant working groups. The meeting highlighted the importance of raising awareness and providing timely warnings to prevent future disaster. Key topics included strategies to minimize the risks of loss of life during disaster, rescues and assistance efforts, and reuniting family members separated or lost in the chaos. Additionally, the committee discussed preparations for post-disaster recovery and ensuring effective access to international aid for relief efforts. NUG and ABSDF signed MOU for cooperation in political, military, and financial sectors. On September 12, 2024, the National Unity Government NUG and the All Burma Student Democratic Front ABSDF signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU based on mutual understanding, political dignity, and mutual recognition. The MOU establishes a framework for collaboration between the two groups in various sectors, including political, public mobilization, military, and financial fields. This agreement signifies a commitment to work together in advancing shared goals, with both the NUG and ABSDF uniting their efforts to strengthen their positions in the ongoing struggle for democracy and national liberation in Myanmar. NUG Prime Minister calls for aid to those fleeing disaster and airstrike. On September 12, 2024, National Unity Government NUG Prime Minister addressed the Central Committee for Interim Implementations of Public Administration, urging immediate action to provide aid to people fleeing both natural disaster and airstrike by terrorist military council. The Prime Minister highlighted the dual crisis affecting the country, pointing to heavy rains, flooding from storm, and brutal military airstrike as causes of widespread displacement. In addition to the heavy rains and flooding in some central regions due to the storm as well as the brutal airstrike, we should do everything we can do to ensure our people who are fleeing due to the brutal airstrike get the necessary shelter, medicines, and food as soon as possible, he emphasized. The Prime Minister also urged collaboration in resolving the operational and regional difficulties faced by public administration organizations, warning that delays in response measures could exacerbate problems in certain townships. He called on everyone to remain focused on addressing the challenges and continuing to work together efficiently. Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, NUG opens donation channels for flood victims. The National Unity Government NUG announced that donation can now be made to support people affected by floods through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. Those wishing to contribute to relief efforts for flood victims can do so via a platform like NUG Pay and the Spring Development Fund (SDB). The SDB has also pledged to collaborate with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, offering aid and assistance to those displaced by both flood and conflict through its humanitarian fund. To donate, visit the ministry website at https://mohadm@mug.org/donate/. NUG provides emergency support for flood and war victims. On September 12, the National Unity Government, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management announced that it is providing emergency food supply to those affected by floods caused by heavy rain from Typhoon Yagi on September 11. The ministry emphasized its support for people displaced by war and now facing additional hardship due to the flood. Local humanitarian groups, Township Public Protections and Rescue Team, and Public Administration Group at the ward and township levels are actively participating in rescue efforts. They are particularly focused on assisting vulnerable populations such as the elderly, children, and war refugees. Ministry of Defense, NUG reports 4,100 soldiers and police joined People's Side in August. On September 12, the National Unity Government's People's Embrace Program Implementation Committee announced that in August 2024, 41 soldiers and police officers from the Terrorist Military Council, including 3 lieutenant colonels, 2 majors, 2 captains, and 3 lieutenants, came over to the People's Side through the People's Defense Force (PDF) and the People's Defense Team under the command of the Ministry of Defense. Some of those who joined brought weapons with them and were given honorariums based on the value of these weapons as specified by the Ministry of Defense. NUG and Ministry of Defense warned of Fraudsters impersonating People's Defense Forces. On September 13, the National Unity Government NUG and the Ministry of Defense issue a warning about fraudsters impersonating People's Defense Force (PTF) regiments, column, and People Defense Team (PDT) under the ministry command. These individuals have been using names and branding of the PTF to send letters, audio, and video files in attempt to extort money from businesses and citizens. The announcement emphasized that these fraudulent activities, which have been spreading online, are orchestrated by supporters of the Terrorist Military Council in an effort to discredit the People's Revolution. Businesses and citizens are asked to verify any such communications by contacting the Ministry of Defense at office@mod.nugmn.org or the Complaints Committee at cc@mod.nugmyanmar.org. Union Minister Ulun Golat addresses complaints and reforms in people administration. On September 11, Ulun Golat, Union Minister of the Ministry of Home Affairs and Immigration of the National Unity Government NUG, addressed the public in a press conference regarding law enforcement efforts during the interim period. He stated that complaints from the public about the People's Administration security and defense force groups are being thoroughly investigated and acted upon. The minister noted that while same administration bodies are currently under suspension, only 4 or 5 individuals have had their duty suspended so far. Out of approximately 80 complaints received, 14% have been resolved, with the remaining cases still under investigation and reforms being implemented. Regarding the performance of people's security teams across 45 townships, the minister reported that they have prosecuted 217 out of 915 cases reported in 2024. Of these cases, 381 are still under investigation, 73 have been closed, and 244 have been sentenced. Ministry of Human Rights, NUG Ministry of Human Rights support IIMM report on Military Council human rights violation. On September 10, the Ministry of Human Rights of the National Unity Government NUG expressed its support for the human rights report presented by Mr. Nicholas Komjian, head of the Independent Investigate Mechanism for Myanmar (IIMM) at the United Nations Human Rights Council (UNHCR) meeting on September 9. The ministry condemned the Terrorist Military Council for its ongoing brutality against civilians since the coup in 2021. The report highlighted severe war crimes and crime against humanity, including torture, sexual violence, and other forms of abuses in Chen, Kachin, and Karenni, Shan State. Mr. Komjian informed the UNHCR of this atrocity, which include beatings, electric shocks, strangulations, and the use of pliers to pull out nails. The IIMM has submitted over 80 fines containing more than 1 million pieces of evidence to the International Criminal Court (ICC) and the International Court of Justice (ICJ) and Argentina for prosecution. Efforts are underway to expedite legal actions and issue arrest warrants for the military council's leaders and their associates. Terrorist military council bombs public areas in northern Shan State, claims lives. On the morning of September 6, the terrorist military council carried out airstrike using 500-pound bombs on public houses near the night market in Nankam Town, Muse District, Northern Shan State, and the White Tiger Hall in Huket neighborhood, according to an announcement by the Ministry of Human Rights on September 9. The attacks resulted in the deaths of 11 people, including children and pregnant women, and injured 12 others. At least 10 homes, including shops, were damaged in the bombing. The Ministry of Human Rights condemned this act and reaffirmed its commitment to achieving equality, peace and justice for all. It vowed to pursue accountability and punishment for the crimes committed by the terrorist military group. Ministry of Education, National Unity Government expand interim basic education school. On September 12, the Ministry of Education of the National Unity Government announced that over 60 online public education schools have been officially recognized and extended as interim basic education public school. Additionally, the ministry reported that 6 schools have had their license expire, 3 schools are unable to continue operations and are closed. 7 schools have received certifications and their license have not yet expired. Military Affairs Summary for the second week of September 2024. During the second week of September 2024, revolutionary forces achieved significant victories against the terrorist military council troops across various regions of Myanmar. In Zagan region, the People's Defense Force PDF No. 4 Battalion reported successfully repelling and approaching terrorist military council's naval force in Myang Township. 1,700 soldiers were killed and 2 enemy vessels were sunk during the engagement. In Magui region, terrorist military council forces abandoned their base on Nyangla Road in Bokoko Township. Revolutionary forces also launched attack on Honda soldiers and Pusoti militia based in Chunchang village, Jobingao Township, Baguio region. The southern military region under PDF control reported 77 battles in August, resulting in 225 enemy casualties. In Kachin State, the Kachin Independence Army KIA successfully seized a terrorist military council police station in Saindang village, Pagan district, as the intensity of fighting there diminished. Meanwhile, clashes escalated along the Asia Highway near Lake Community and Jingguerhe, Kayin State. Revolutionary forces also launched a joint military operation along the Shan-Karani border starting from September 5th. Defeating 30 terrorist military council troops and capturing 3 enemy officers within a week. These successes mark continued momentum in the revolutionary struggle against the terrorist military council across multiple fronts. Let's see what do we have for our weekly rounded news in coming weeks. Thanks for watching PVTV International.